Welcome back, Santa Clarita Valley, to your Neighborhood Watch, where every first and third Thursday of the month, or for the month of August, every second and fourth Thursday, we come on and talk about department outreach with our good friends at the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station. Deputy Josh Dubin in the studio today, and with me today also is Deputy Jeremy Carr. How are you, J. Carr?
All right. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being on here. What's going on, Dubin? You got something to say?
As always.
I mean, I can make a hair joke
got thoughts formulating
or a beard
you're
joke.
waiting for a beard joke. I know you're just waiting for that avenue.
I mean, I feel like we need to open the show with a little bit of
You're
comedy.
always trying to get me to bring up the...
Like something fun.
Okay.
People like fun.
Twisted Colossus? It's in the news right now.
No, I don't know anything
right?
about Colossus.
Oh, jeez. You're not a roller coaster guy?
Nah, I'm a little bit big to ride some of the roller coasters.
That's true.
We could talk about the
limits.
We could talk about the pains of being 6'5".
Oh, all day.
All day.
Low ceilings, parking garages.
Right.
Don't like them. Cramped quarters.
Right. Can't drive
two-door
little cars.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
it's four-door cars.
Perfect Hair's laughing. He doesn't understand.
He doesn't understand the pain of being 6'5", like myself.
Anyways, here on the Neighborhood Watch, we're all about outreach with the community, brought to you by our sponsors, All American Bail Bonds, and we're talking about what's going on in the Santa Clarita Valley community. A lot of stories in the news, not just Twisted Colossus.
But that is in the news.
That is in the news. But, one of the reasons why we do this is so people know about the ways that they can get in touch with the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station. And you guys have the Facebook presence. You guys have the Twitter presence.
As do you.
SCV Sheriff.
At SCV Sheriff.
At Perry R. Smith. We can also mention that.
Nobody follows at Perry R. Smith.
Oh, you know what? I hope I get at least one follower in just for spite, and that person will get all kinds of RTs from me.
RTs. That means retweets.
Yeah,
maybe you'll send them a KHTS T-shirt or a bumper sticker.
Maybe even an empty.
Hey.
Yeah.
There you go.
Anyways, so what's going on in the Santa Clarita Valley world of law enforcement today, Dubin?
Well, we have a lot to talk about today.
We do. We want to talk about Stevenson Ranch in Westridge.
Since we have
the zone leader.
Right from that zone. The zone leader.
Who's been locking it down. And we want to talk a little bit about his experiences. We want to talk about the back-to-school madness, the social media madness that's been going on. There have been quite a few cases in the news. Rental property scams.
Right.
Pills Kill, a heroin symposium. A little campaign put on by the city and the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station, right?
Right.
Identity theft in the news.
I did a press release on that.
You've been busy.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been...
the local media outlets.
Right.
So you talk to me a little bit about this... this identity theft case.
You want to talk about that first?
You want to talk about that?
Sure. Let's talk about that. I did a press release, sent it out on Nixle, Facebook, Twitter last night in hopes of helping the detective working the case. Let me give you a rundown.
Give us the rundown.
Are you ready?
Give us the long.
And this station, this story is also on hometownstation.com.
Appreciate that.
Good job.
Yep. And on the Sheriff's Department Facebook website. Sheriff's Station.
I plugged you, you plugged me. This is quite a partnership. So, we released some photographs taken from some surveillance cameras in Bakersfield. And to take a step back, this case started with a case of identity theft, and it appears that a suspect, we're still trying to figure out exactly, who the suspect is, obtained a victim's personal information. Then you put your hand out like you're obtaining something.
Just trying to show for those, watching the YouTube broadcast.
Right. Plug the YouTube. Go. Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt.
All right. So the suspect obtained the victim's personal information. The suspect then allegedly ordered a credit card, a replacement credit card, and said, "Hey, can you send this credit card out expedited FedEx shipping to my address?" The address already on file, which legitimately belonged to the victim. So the suspect then allegedly intercepted the package once it was dropped on the front porch. Picked up the credit card and picked up an additional package that contained some clothing and flip-flops.
Got the flip-flops too, huh?
Flip-flops.
That's just a low blow. I mean, it's one thing to steal somebody's credit card and buy a $23,000 Rolex.
Well, you're
going to take
you just teased the rest of the story. But the flip-flops are stolen.
Spoiler alert.
That was a spoiler alert.
So just to recap.
So anyways, the suspect allegedly took the credit card, took it to Bakersfield, bought a $23,000 Rolex watch using not only the victim's credit card, but using the victim's identity. And then it's alleged that the identification presented to the retailer had a photograph of the suspect that was in the store right then, but had the victim's name, birthday, address back here in Westridge on the ID. So obviously it was a fake ID of some sort.
So she had a fake ID and a credit card that she obtained illegally.
Right.
Went and bought a $23,000 Rolex.
Right.
With her probably wearing stolen flip-flops. Potentially.
Right.
And then...
I mean, it's really not funny because identity theft is such a problem nationwide. And so... At this point in the investigation, our detectives obtained the surveillance photos from the retail location in Bakersfield. Photos are a little bit grainy, but we released the photos that we have. We put them on our Facebook, Twitter, send it out via Nixle. You have it on hometownstation.com. And
the victim was really lucky because if the credit card company had not said,
right, there could have been further
purchase, there's no telling what else could have been bought. I want to talk a little bit more about the dangers of identity theft and get the lowdown on what's going on in Stevenson Ranch and Westridge when we come back from this quick commercial break on your neighborhood.
Is it going to be the hot?
You buy All-American Bail Bonds on your hometown station.
It's going to be the hot seat next.
AM 1220. The hot seat is coming up. Good. Welcome back, Santa Clarita Valley. We're here on your neighborhood watch on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS, brought to you by All-American Bail Bonds. We're talking about Santa Clarita Valley neighborhood outreach with our sheriff's station. And we were just talking about identity theft and an interesting case that was in the news just because there was such a large purchase made with this stolen credit card.
Right.
I don't know if this one is something that could have been avoided just based on, what the person did. Sometimes there are stuff that...
a lot of times there's... It's hard to say. Sometimes, you can avoid being the victim of identity theft, and sometimes it's very difficult to avoid being the victim, especially with identity theft being so prevalent. I got to add one more thing about this story. It appears, and our preliminary investigation from what the detective has relayed to me, is it's possible that this suspect targeted this victim due to the same ethnic background. So
almost like a digital version of the blonde scammer.
Right.
Like a little more
right. If you
high-tech.
remember the blonde scammer, that started at, them targeting, it was a pickpocket type thing, purses in supermarkets of people that were Caucasian blonde hair that looked exactly like the suspect, so that they would, be able to use driver's licenses and identities and different things like that. So...
And this happened in Stevenson Ranch and Westridge area, and we have the zone leader for the Stevenson Ranch and Westridge area.
Yeah, we'll leave that one alone.
Say it 3 times fast, that's all I'm saying. From that area, Deputy Jeremy Carr of the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Station.
In the house.
Deputy Carr in the house. Thank you for coming down. How long have you been with the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Station? Talk to us a little bit about your background here.
I transferred up here about 3 years ago in, I want to say May.
And generally, sheriff's department deputies start in the jails. Did you have a jail assignment before you came up here? Or?
I did. I worked NCCF, that's North County Correctional Facility. Dubin will say that I worked for a decade.
A decade.
Yeah.
A decade in custody.
One.
Yeah. So I'll steal his thunder. Yeah. One.
He took my thing.
Were you there? For
No, I worked a little over 5.5 years. I was there for a while. Yeah.
He may have rounded down.
Where's CCF?
NCCF, North County Correctional Facility. It's up in Wayside. Yeah, Pitches Honor.
So you live up here in the area in the Santa Clarita Valley?
I am local, yes.
Oh, local man. All right. Good deal. A lot of deputies do live up here.
And firefighters.
And firefighters.
And outside agencies.
And other law enforcement.
And
emergency personnel.
Emergency personnel.
Firefighters.
And doctors.
Fire department.
Teachers.
Nurses.
Where are you going?
Go on.
None of those people carry badges. That's kind of the...
No, I was just saying different professions since you
But
were
all
naming.
good people.
Yeah, good people.
Since I was just naming jobs.
Right. I think Santa Clarita is an awesome place to live.
Kind of missed where I was going.
Media outlets.
So are you from up here?
No,
I'm just going to change the subject before he stops
I feel like
listing
today's show we're having a good time.
We are.
Today's show.
Well, I'm glad you are.
I am.
Perfect hair. Are you having a good time?
Yeah, of course he is.
It is
He's working
perfect
towards.
hair.
It is impeccably coiffed.
I will have to say, Deputy Carr has never seen perfect hair, and we talk about perfect hair a lot on the show.
And
so now he's really.
Is it an apt nickname, J. Carr?
He's got a nice fade. He's got a good barber.
He's got a tight fade.
I don't think that came from a barber, though.
No.
I'm guessing. Probably came from a salon.
Oh, man. He's got him.
Is it a barber?
He's got him on the road.
We'll talk barbers later. I respect a good fade.
So talk to me about what types of things do you see in the in the crime reports, Deputy Carr, and what we'd like to do is talk about ways people can avoid being a victim of crime whenever possible. Do you see any preventable crimes that you want to kind of get the word out and warn people about?
Preventable crimes, that's a great topic because in our nixles often, we try to get out to the residents, leaving property in your vehicles, locking your vehicles, closing your garage doors. It's simple things that, it's a beautiful community, Santa Clarita as a whole, so people sometimes forget that, it's important to lock your things. Crimes of opportunity they're easy. You just make it easier for these guys to take your stuff.
Right, and probably because we're not a crime-ridden area, it probably draws some of those people looking to victimize a little more often.
Exactly.
So again, just kind of like locking your doors, we hear that a lot. Anything that any people might not, that you've learned about recently that people might not be aware of that we can kind of talk about as far, not just in the Stevenson Ranch or Westridge area, but I know you guys get together and talk about crime trends, kind of Santa Clarita Valley.
I get a lot of calls on just the scams, not identity theft so much, but it's kind of a hot topic with they're targeting elderly.
Right.
You put out a rental scam.
We did. We put out that rental scam. We're getting a lot of calls lately about an IRS scam saying that you owe back taxes. You can Google that. There's a ton of information online about that. There's an Edison scam. There's your family member is locked up in jail and you need to send money scam and Western Union scam. I mean, there's a ton of different things out there. And you know what? All of the agencies, the IRS, Edison, they put out even information about how not to become a victim of a scam. So, all good information.
Are there any kind of overarching common threads that you see in the scams as far as like you mentioned Edison, you mentioned rental, you mentioned real estate? I mean, is there some things that people can be doing just so they're not falling into these traps?
Well, if you're getting a cold call, let's call it a cold call from somebody saying, "Hey, you need to pay us money now or this is going to happen," that's one thing. Some of these scams, they go a little bit further than like a normal bill collector would say, hey, you have a past due debt or something like that. A lot of them will ask you to get a prepaid like Green Dot card or a prepaid Visa card and then mail that prepaid card somewhere. I mean, that is a massive red flag right there.
Because most creditors won't ask you for some sort of money that you can't track.
Right. So, that's something. And, I would think, maybe you can comment on this, Barry. I was going to go into a joke, but I won't.
Spare us.
I'll spare us.
What a tease and then a
tease and then I
retraction.
take it away.
All right.
I would think that if you get cold called out of the blue and say, hey, you owe $100,000 to the IRS or whatever, you have an idea.
Yeah,
if you haven't paid your taxes in 10 years, you have an idea if that's, true or false. I guess be cautious. If you have any doubt in your mind, you can always disconnect the call back the agency that they're alleging to be from and get it squared away. Yeah, it takes a little bit of time and it's kind of a hassle, but, it's better that than falling victim to a scam.
And as your Nixle points out, you can ask yourself, why is this owner so gosh darn eager to have me? Legitimate property owners and managers take the time to ask questions and screen potential tenants.
Right.
Why is it so easy for me to get this place?
Yeah.
Right. That had to do with rental properties and even houses for sale and stuff like that. I put out a Nixle report just because, as a crime prevention unit as a whole, we've been receiving some concerns. We've gotten emails, phone calls. A realtor buddy of mine even told me, hey, yeah, this is prevalent. So we're hearing it from the community. We're out in the community hearing it. So absolutely.
And as promised, we will put Deputy J. Carr on the hot seat. When we get back, we have to take a quick commercial break on your Neighborhood Watch, brought to you by All American Bail Bonds after this.